Hi, I'm Ralph Grizzle, and this week I'm cruising France's Loire River. Now there's only one vessel that can navigate this shallow river, and that's CroisiEurope's Loire Princess. I'll tell you more about this engineering marvel and show you some of the beauty of France's Loire Valley. Flowing for more than 600 miles, the Loire is France's longest river. It begins in a mountainous region in the south of France and dumps into the Bay of Biscay. Along its banks are storied cities and beautiful chateaux. The problem with this river is that it's so shallow that no riverboats can navigate it. Strasbourg-based CroisiEurope came up with a solution. The family-owned company developed the Loire Princess. She features paddle wheels on each side of the vessel that propel the Loire Princess along the Loire River. Now, for the first time ever, it's possible to see one of the most beautiful regions in France on a river cruise. Able to accommodate 90 guests, Loire Princess features an overall design that's intended to evoke l'élégance à la française. The ship features rich colors and beautiful fabrics by Masoni of Milan, copper light fixtures by Tom Dixon, an award-winning English designer, and a roomy lounge with lots of seating. One deck below the lounge is the dining room, which can seat all 90 guests at once. Here, you'll feast on culinary creations developed in partnerships with some of France's most celebrated chefs. As nice as the Loire Princess is, it is the Loire River itself that is the star of the show. And along its riverbanks are some fascinating sights, including the Loire Valley's beautiful chateaux. Chief among those is the Château de Chambord. Construction here began in the 1500s to build a mansion that would feature 285 fireplaces, 440 rooms, and 84 staircases. It's hard to believe that Château de Chambord was built primarily as a hunting lodge for King Francis I. Château de Chenonceau features beautiful gardens and an interesting history. The chateau spans the River Cher, which formed the border during World War II between Free France and occupied France. The chateau was used as an escape route for those fleeing Nazi Germany. CroisiEurope's Loire River cruises begin and end in Nantes. About a decade ago, Time magazine named Nantes as the most livable city in Europe. Centuries ago, the city was a major merchant hub, with rich ship owners who made the waterfront the wealthiest part of the city. The Dukes of Brittany had their castle here, and while Nantes is not within Brittany proper, the city reflects the spirit and is regarded as the cultural capital of Brittany. The Machines of the Isle of Nantes attempts to portray Nantes as a city of dreams and fantasies. The Marine's World Carousel features fantastical underwater creatures. It may come as no surprise to learn that the writer Jules Verne, who wrote 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Journey to the Center of the Earth, was born in Nantes. Perhaps the most memorable attraction here, however, is the mechanical elephant. It's made from 45 tons of wood and steel and can carry passengers on a slow and fun walk. What's a visit to France without wine? The Loire is famous for its muscadet. Muscadet is a white wine that's made from the Melon de Bourgogne grape, and you'll have a chance to learn about it and to do some tastings in beautiful wine cellars on your Loire River cruise. Situated on what was the border of Brittany and France, Clisson is a medieval city with a centuries-old fortification known as the Château de Clisson. Most of the castle was built during the 13th century, flanked by round towers and isolated by a moat. Both the town of Clisson and the castle were destroyed in 1792 and 1793 during the war in the Vendée. The remains of the castle are classified as a historic monument by the French Ministry of Culture. The Château de Brissac was originally built in the 11th century, but it was severely damaged in the French Wars of Religion. When rebuilt in the 1600s, the chateau became the tallest chateau in all of France. The castle was ransacked during the French Revolution during the 1700s, then later restored. Today the castle is still family-owned, and at 7 stories high, is the tallest chateau in Loire Valley. Built between 1518 and 1527, the Château d'Azay-la-Redoute is situated on a small island in the middle of the Indre River. The chateau occupies the site of a former feudal castle that was destroyed during the 100 Years' War when the future King Charles VII stopped into town while fleeing Paris, which at that time was occupied by troops from Burgundy. Angered by insults of the troops occupying the castle, he ordered his own army to storm it. More than 300 soldiers inside were executed and the castle burned to the ground. For centuries, the fate was commemorated in the town's name of Azay-le-Brûlé, meaning Azay the Burnt, which remained in use until the 18th century. So how did all these beautiful chateaux come about? Well, until about the middle of the 16th century, the Loire had been the center of power for France when many of the chateaux were built. The Château de Villandry is famous for its Renaissance gardens, which are laid out in formal patterns, created with low box edges, water gardens, ornamental flower gardens, and vegetable gardens. The Château de Uzy is said to have been the inspiration for Charles Perrault's fairy tale of Sleeping Beauty. Indeed, the fortified towers of the chateau may remind you of the Disney animation based on the classic fairy tale of a beautiful princess who was the victim of an evil curse that put her into a deep sleep for 100 years. She was awakened, however, by a handsome prince. And that brings us to the end of this fairy tale journey as shown to us by the true princess of this river, the Loire Princess. I'm Ralph Grizzle. Thanks for spending time with me today on the beautiful Loire River.